Creating still life compositions. Part 2. Blocking out details and values. Hello, fellow artists. This is John Hendrick here for part 2 of our longer still life drawing project. In the first part of this video, I showed you how you can break down your source photograph into 4 quadrants and use that to create a rough draft, so to speak, of your drawing by breaking down your objects into simple forms and kind of massing those together in a very simplified version of your still life. Now, in this video, what I'd like to do is just show you how to go back into that drawing and not only add some details, but also start blocking out where your shadows are and where different parts of your object is darker and lighter and where the cast shadows are off the objects onto the surface. So without further ado, we're going to keep looking at our source photograph right here, and then we'll get started with the second part of this drawing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start erasing lightly the guidelines that I used last time. Because as I'm working on the shading, it's just easier to get rid of them now. You can still kind of see it if you need to use it as reference, but just erase it a little bit, so as you start shading, you can shade over the rest. I'll grab my number 2 pencil. I'm going to start here with the planter. With the planter, I blocked out the basic forms yesterday, but now I'm going to start coming in and adding some more detail. Keep looking at your source, right? I can see that his ear kind of comes in here. He's got his eye. In this section, notice that's a little bit darker over here, right? Although my light source is coming from the left over, it's hitting this part of the statue, so this will be a little bit darker. Notice how this bottom section will be darker. Notice I'm blocking in the shadows super light. I'll be definitely working back into these a few more times before the final, but it just kind of gives you sort of a step-by-step what to do. All right, so this will be here. This section of the ear will be darker. All right. So as the belly comes around, darker here, here. And the shadow. And also start adding some more details. So this plant, this succulent plant, its leaves almost look like droplets, so you want to keep them very loose. Right, and each one of these will be darker on the bottom. So I'm just blocking it out. Now, what we know about cube shapes is that each section is getting solid light across the whole plane, right? So this top part will be lightest except for where the shadows are, which is in this area. This will be medium, and this side will be dark. Right, so dark, medium, light. All right, now I'm going to speed up this video a little bit to kind of show you some of the detail work, but I'll be adding all the different paw prints. So starting now, it'll be a little bit faster. Alright, now that I've finished blocking out the tones, in sort of the first object and the cube, and I spent a little time plotting out the details on this cube, these little paw prints, I will be going back into it some more. I'm going to start working on this next one. Alright, so using my photo as a guide, and really looking at what looks darker than what, I'll block out the tones in this object as well. Again, I'm not adding all the details and shading yet. That'll come later. Alright, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit, but just watch and look at my photo reference as I block out these shadows. Alright, so I'm blocking out some of the tones in this fox. Notice I am not going to be doing the highlights yet. I sort of blocked out a little bit, but I kind of regret it. That I'll end up doing with an eraser, or I'll show you a couple of the tricks to bring out the highlights towards the end of the project. But for the last object, the cup, I'll start blocking it out now. Well, there you have it. This is part 2 of our longer still life drawing project. You were able to sort of look at those basic forms you did last time, and you're able to start adding detail and blocking out where the shadows will go for this still life. In the third part of this series, I'll be going over actually applying the tonal shading. So you'll see me using different kinds of pencils and a couple of different tricks to start blending to make the still life look more three-dimensional. Alright, so I look forward to seeing what you come up with, and that's it for now. So this is John Hendricks saying, happy drawing, my friends.